Hi there, you're watching Market Cafe on ET Now with me Shreyansi Singh and with me is Priyanka Uppal, and over the next 1 hour we'll take you through news and updates from within the country as well as across the globe, tell you which stocks you should keep on your radar and tell you what the brokerages are saying as well. But first things first, Priyanka, we've got to take a look at the US markets.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, it's been a good week overall last week after the Fed rate cut, which they surprised with the 50 BPS points. Now, but S&P 500 and Dow, they both close at a fresh record high. It's not just the Indian markets making fresh highs. In fact, US markets also closing at record levels. Both the index, Dow Jones, which represent majorly the banks and the financials, that's a key trigger to watch out on. And in fact, they've extended the last week's rally also. The gains that US markets built on to the gains that they got last week as well. In fact, quickly just look at the gains here. In fact, now what are the cues ahead? Lackluster action on the US futures. They extended with the record levels, but then now we do not see fresh cues, and that's what the futures close at with the lackluster cues. Major cues would come also from the Asian markets, Shreyansi. Let's see how Nikkei or Hang Seng they pan out. But then US markets, we saw another record level for S&P as well as Dow Jones.
Well, absolutely. And let's also take a very quick look then at the oil prices. And oil prices closed lower largely as worries about demand were compounded by disappointing Eurozone business activity as well as a weak Chinese economy. And that is something that we kept on our radar. When you take a look at Brent crude futures, you're looking at a close coming in of a downtick coming in of 0.8% or 59 cents there, about $73 a barrel is what you're looking at. And when you take a look at US WTI as well, you're looking at a fall coming in of about 63 cents there, about a 0.9%, and $70 per barrel is where that one was at. Now, of course, there's Eurozone business activity that contracted sharply and unexpectedly this month as the bloc's dominant services industry also flatlined while a downturn in manufacturing accelerated. That is definitely something that the market is keeping a very close eye on. And speaking of what else the market is keeping a very close eye on, there's of course China, the world's top oil importer, that is meanwhile battling deflationary pressures. And that also is going to be something that will be on the oil market's radar. Now, of course, the US crude oil stockpiles were expected to have fallen by about 1.2 million barrels last week, and that is what is currently being penciled in, so that will also be very closely watched. But let's also take a very quick look then at gold, and gold prices rose to an all-time high, and this is as bullish market sentiment after the US Federal Reserve cut interest rates last week, combined with geopolitical tensions, also drove a little bit of safe haven appeal. So you do have all of that safe haven appeal just helping gold prices shine really bright today.
All right, absolutely. So these were the few of the high frequency indicators. But then let's start our coverage this morning with important global news flow also. The US Commerce Department has proposed prohibiting key Chinese software and hardware in connected vehicles on American roads. This is due to national security concerns, a move that could eventually bar Chinese cars and trucks from the US markets. The planned regulation would also force American and other major automakers in years ahead to remove key Chinese software and hardware from vehicles in the United States.
All right, moving on, then Israeli army launched more than 650 attacks on nearly 1,300 Hezbollah targets across Lebanon in the last 24 hours. The attacks have led to the death of 492 people and injured over 1,600 people as well. World leaders and the United Nations are now calling for urgent de-escalation, with Turkey warning that Israel's attacks could drag the entire region into chaos. Monday marked the deadliest day of conflict in Lebanon since the civil war.
Okay, shifting focus to important commentary from the US Central Bank officials. Federal Reserve Chicago President Austin Goolsbee said that he expects many more rate cuts over the next year as the central bank sees a soft landing for the economy. Goolsbee also alluded to cooling inflation nearing that 2% of target. Meanwhile, the Minneapolis Fed President Neil Kashkari, he said he expects policymakers to dial down the pace of interest rate cuts after last week's 0.5% cut reduction.
All right, moving on then. China's central bank supplied 14-day cash to its banking system for the first time in months on Monday and at a lower interest rate, signaling its intent to further ease monetary conditions. Meanwhile, some important comments coming in from the PBOC governor says China will cut the amount of cash banks need to have on hand, known as the reserve requirement ratio. He also said that PBOC would cut the 7-day repo rate by 0.2 of a percentage points. On the back of these comments, China's 10-year government bond yield hit a record low of 2%.
Okay, now let's place a spotlight on some more commentary from JP Morgan's Jamie Dimon, who said that India's goal to become a $7 trillion economy by 2030 is very much achievable. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, Dimon believes digital and physical infra is drawing multinationals involved in manufacturing advanced products and services.
Buzzing and hearty welcome from the diaspora, PM Modi holds a high-profile roundtable with tech CEOs. They include the prominent names, the likes of Google's Sundar Pichai, Adobe's Shantanu Narayan, as well as IBM's Arvind Krishna and Moderna's Noubar Afeyan, among others as well. They discuss things like opportunities in AI, semiconductors, as well as biotech. And in his address there as well, PM Modi highlights the need for tech and democracy to work together. Now, key deals have been signed in spaces of semiconductors, clean energy, defense, solar, wind, as well as nuclear energy. So that's largely the kind of roundup that we have this morning from that.
Success of humanity lies in our collective strength, not in the battlefield. And for global peace and development, reforms in global institutions are essential. Reform is the key to relevance. Permanent membership of the G20 to the African Union at the New Delhi summit was an important step in this direction. While on the one hand, terrorism continues to be a serious threat to global peace and security, on the other hand, areas such as cyber, maritime, and space are emerging as new theaters of conflict. On all these issues, I will stress that global action must match global ambition.
All right, also listen in to what Raymond Vickery, who's a former US Assistant Secretary for Commerce, said on semiconductors.
About a year ago, Secretary of Commerce, U.S. Secretary of Commerce Raimondo was in India to talk about semiconductors and talk about our various programs for promoting semiconductor fabrication, both in the United States and India. And that trip was designed to make sure that there was cooperation rather than competition. And I think that the announcement indicates that those talks have borne fruit, that rather than being in head-to-head competition in terms of manufacture, that there is a broader view of shifting supply chains from places where there are adversaries like China to India, so that there will be friend sourcing in regard to the U.S. and India. So I think that it's very important.
All right, then moving on to some exciting news for movie buffs out there. And Kiran Rao's cult film Lapata Ladies is making waves as India's official entry into the Oscars. With its focus on women's empowerment and social change, the film has gained immense popularity on Netflix, featuring talented newcomers and a stellar cast as well. Join us as we celebrate this impactful film that continues to inspire conversations around gender equality and the struggles of rural women in India. In fact, let's listen into a slice of our chat with none other than Kiran Rao and lead actor Sparsh Srivastava.
When we read this story, which is such a delightful little tale of two girls getting lost but eventually finding themselves, I felt it was the perfect vehicle to say a lot of things that I have been exploring through life as a creative person, as a woman. And I thought that humor would be the best way to say it, because it's the way that you can actually disarm people and charm people when you present a new or a difficult point of view, or show them the mirror, as you said. So we wanted to do a bit of both. We wanted to hold up a mirror, but also maybe open up a window of a new perspective, maybe challenge some preconceived notions. So it was, the attempt was to do it through humor, because we feel that this story is a universal story and can appeal to a lot of different kinds of people. And humor is the best way in that way to actually very subtly say whatever you want to say. All the messages kind of come through the humor. So that was our attempt, and I'm happy that we succeeded.
Right, Kiran, also, like you rightly mentioned, cinema has always been a powerful medium that transcends boundaries and starts a meaningful conversation. What is that one thing about Lapata Ladies that you think will resonate with global audiences as well, and also the Oscar jury?
Well, I certainly think that the fact that this film has so many ideas and issues that women all over the world deal with on an everyday basis and face, I think that will be an important consideration when it's on a world stage, because I think that women are half the world. We hold up half the sky, and really it's time that our stories are seen more, our voices are heard more. And this film will go, I hope, some distance in reaching out to people and show that we have from India also such stories that are worthy of the international stage.
Right. Also, Kiran, of late we've seen that Bollywood or Hindi films industry has not really had a dream run, so to speak, at the box office. Given the lukewarm response from the audiences towards big ticket releases, do you think it's about time that the filmmakers also took cognizance of the fact that the content is what will drive the audience to the theatres and not the big stars now?
I think the Hindi film industry is well aware of that, and in this past 2 years when we've been trying to adjust to the changes that have happened since COVID-19, I feel we have also upped our game, and it'll be maybe a little bit slow to become the kind of box office successes that we perhaps had before COVID.
I think I'm definitely going to look for scripts which can send a message across. But even if a film can make the audience laugh, it's more than enough. I think the industry I am in, it's entertainment industry, and the first core of it is to entertain the audience. If in any sorts, in any way I can entertain the audience in a healthy manner, I would love to be a part of that project. If I can choose scripts, if fortunately I can come across scripts which are also sending a message across and teaching the society something great. Otherwise, I would love to send my audience back with a smile at least.
In an industry which is fairly incestuous, very few outsiders are really getting to play good parts, meatier parts. With OTT coming into the picture, has that really changed the game for actors like you who are talented and also want to be a part of something more meaningful?
I think definitely. I mean, after OTT coming in, we have really got a golden chance. All the actors who doesn't belong to the industry and are outsiders. But I think whoever is willing to take that leap of faith and work hard and love what they are doing will find the way. I think we have examples like Shah Rukh Khan sir and actors like Siddharth and other actors also who are outsiders, Sushant Singh Rajput, who were outsiders and made their mark. So I think if you are willing to give it all, you will find your way, you will make a way. Somehow, somewhere you will reach in any point of time. But definitely after OTT, we have definitely got a golden chance.
All right, we'll stay for a short break here. More to come on the other side of the break. We talk about the Asian cues as well as the stocks that impact your trading day. Don't go anywhere. welcome back. You're watching Market Cafe, and now some respite coming in from Asian markets, at least from the China market. The People Bank of China, they've announced that they've reduced their reserve requirement ratio by 50 basis points. There were a lot of pressure in terms of economy should get a stimulus or not, but then that's what we saw Shanghai. In fact, entire Asian markets, if you see Nikkei, which opened with green, Hang Seng opened with 2% of gains, Shanghai opened with 0.5% of gains. Looks like good cues coming in from Asian market, at least. That's what the high economic indicator suggesting in terms of Chinese market. Not just that, in fact, some respite came in from Japan also, wherein though the manufacturing PMI that shrank, but then services was strong, and that's what we saw Nikkei also reacting to it. It has opened up with a gain of, now it has built on to the gain. It's now more than 1%. Looks like it should be a good start for us, Shriyansi. Let's see how is GIFT Nifty reacting right now. It was earlier, just few seconds back, it was in minus with a minor loss, but then let's see how GIFT Nifty is reacting at the moment. Well, that's nearly flat line only. So Asian markets, cues from US markets look good. Asian markets will help us to build on the gains. Let's see how we react today.
Well, absolutely. So yesterday, of course, we shut shop around the 25,939 mark, and currently, as Priyanka pointed out, what is currently being pointed out is just like a little bit of a good start, a positive bias that we're penciling in at this point. But let's move on then. HDFC Ergo has been making giant strides to bridge the protection gap for millions of underinsured Indians as well. Their aim is to start building awareness at an early age so that future decision makers can achieve true financial freedom. Let's also take a look. Here's the look at how the company is furthering financial inclusion across the country then.
HDFC Ergo General Insurance, India's leading private sector general insurance company, is back with its annual Insurance Awareness Award Junior Quiz. Insurance Awareness Awards Junior Quiz remains one of the major initiatives of HDFC Ergo that the company has undertaken to drive the agenda of an insurance-inclusive India. For the 9th edition of the quiz this year, the focus is on broadening boundaries, insurance awareness across Bharat. And we spoke with the Director and Chief Business Officer at HDFC Ergo, Parthanil Ghosh, on the many steps that the company has taken towards reaching the last mile. So Parthanil, when we talk about Insurance Awareness Awards, the Junior Quiz, a campaign which you guys have taken and you're in your 9th edition right now, the first question that would come to one's mind is, why the juniors? They've not even begun earning yet. Why do you think it's important to actually target and educate this segment of the population?
Very interesting question. So 10 years back when we started it, what we realized that almost 30% of the Indian population is below 18 years. But if we look at only that time, because they were not purchasing insurance, so why to involve them? But after 5 years, this 18 years old will become 23. After 10 years, this 18 years will become 28. So why not to make them aware when in their formative stage of their education, that what is insurance and why that financial security is very, very important as they grow professionally and personally. So we decided that almost 10 years back, that why don't we create awareness and give some kind of a technical knowledge to these students who are in class 7, 8 and 9. And that was the start when we did it.
And now let's tell you what action lies in for the rest of the day, at least in the first morning. First half, you'll get to see big faces on ET Now. Today at 9:20, we have Manish Rai Chaudhary. We'll talk about more of the Asian cues and the global cues now. Then 9:30, we have Manish Tangi, who's the founder of Macro Mosaic Investing and Research, to talk on more of the cues. Now, a lot of ball points, the focus shifts on the global cues. Let's see what his view is shaping up now. And then at 10 a.m. from the corporate side, we have Muthoot Microfinance. It will be interesting to know, as the gold prices are record levels, what is their roadmap? What is their roadmap to the growth going ahead? And at 10:20, to understand the capex plans, we have Kunal Malani, CFO from SEBI.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying tuned in. Well, let's get you some more news and updates then, and let's zoom in on a SEBI study now. SEBI study reveals that 93% of traders lost money in equity F&O trading between financial year 22 to 24, and the study also adds only 1% of individual traders earned profits exceeding 1 lakh rupees after transaction costs. In fact, Ankur Mishra is standing by with more details. Ankur, tell us a little more about what this study says then.
Yes, SEBI has done a new study on measuring F&O losses, and new study says that 93% of traders have made losses in F&O from FY22 to FY24. Now, this cutoff is important because you remember in 2023 January, SEBI came out with a study where it revealed that 89% of traders have actually made losses. So, if you take that study as a base, the 4% increase has happened from FY22 to FY24, whereby SEBI has concluded that 93% of investors have actually made losses. Now, to take this into perspective, over 1 crore investors are there who has made average losses of 2 lakh per trader. This happened again in FY22 to FY24. In these 2 years, top 3.5% of loss makers faced average loss of 28 lakhs each in the same period. Now, who has made actually money? Only 1% of individual traders earn profits exceeding 1 lakh after transaction cost. And who are these investors? SEBI study says that proprietary traders, FPIs, they had profits ranging from 33,000 crore and 28,000 crore in FY23 and FY24. Only these were the few set of investors who would have made a profit, but otherwise individual traders spent rupees 50,000 crore on transaction cost alone over FY22 to FY24. And how much is the brokerage? That is around 51% of that cost. Apart from that, if you talk about B30 cities, traders from B30 cities made over 72% of F&O base, compared to 62% for mutual fund in the same period, and they were mostly the young traders, because the study says that participation from young traders below 30 rose to 31% in FY23, and in FY24 it rose to 43%. So all in all, the losses in F&O continues for retail investors.
All right, very interesting observation that SEBI has come up with. In fact, the loss percentage has increased only. Earlier, it was nearly 91%. Now it has increased to 93%. But the base is also increasing. Thanks very much, Ankur, for all those updates. Well, moving on, addressing a press conference, Union Minister for Power and Housing and Urban Affairs, Manohar Lal Khattar, he said that the National Electricity Plan for next year, nearly from 2023 to 2032, has been finalized. And he also stated that the plan will be released in the next 15 days. He spoke about expectation of India's rising power demand. Let's listen in exactly what he said on this.
इस नेशनल इलेक्ट्रिसिटी प्लान को विधिवत आने वाले 15 दिन के अंदर और इसका विधिवत लॉन्च भी करेंगे, इसकी घोषणा भी करेंगे, लेकिन उसके कुछ पहलू इसको मैं जरूर आपके सामने बताना चाहूँगा कि हमारे यहाँ अभी तक जो अनुमान लगाया गया कि हमारी पीक डिमांड ऑफ पावर ये 2030 तक 425 गीगावाट और 2032 तक 458 गीगावाट ये जो है हो जाएगी। तो इसको प्राप्त करने के लिए हमने पूरी अपनी योजना प्लानिंग बना ली है।
More and more grey collar workers as well, and they're all online. So in the job space itself, there is so much opportunity. We think we can do a lot more. And take AI and machine learning, for example. I mean, it's again, opened up a world of opportunity for us. Today there are 500, you won't believe it, there are 500 AI models which run, which power our platforms, right? There are 500 models, job search, job matching, recommendation engines, all are now being powered by AI. And similarly, we see opportunities in all the other verticals as well. They are all huge categories, and it's not, so we may not have entered a new category, but we see a lot of real estate. I mean, there's a rental business, there's a commercial business opportunity, there is a resale business opportunity, there is a new launch opportunity, there is resale, there is, rental management, so many things which one can do in real estate. So in the matrimony business, we've entered quite a small dating platform. We think it's a 5 to 10 year play. So these verticals are large and there's a lot to do in them.
Then that was the word coming in from the management at Info Edge. Let's move on then and let's take stock of the pricing wars on the e-commerce as well as quick commerce platforms. In fact, my colleague Soumit has collated some interesting data to put the pricing into perspective. Soumit, tell us about the platforms offering the highest discounts then.
Well, competition seems to be heating up when it comes to the quick commerce space. Now, we did a price check across various apps like Blinkit, Zepto, Swiggy, which shows that discounts remain high in these platforms. Now, we checked prices for nearly 7 products, of which 4 were from the snack and the beverage category, while 3 products were from the toiletries and the cleaning category. Now, we also checked prices on e-grocery suppliers like DMart Ready and JioMart as well. Now, the MRP of these products stood at close to 1,604 rupees, while the discounts that were offered by Blinkit, Zepto and Swiggy Instamart, that stood at close to around 20%, which was pretty much similar to what DMart Ready was offering. They also offered a similar 20% discount. However, if someone has a Zepto pass, then the discount amount increases to 26%. Now, this discount amount is increasing to 26%, which is not only more than DMart, but that is happening because they're not only offering additional discount on all the products, but also there is no delivery charge. Normally, Zepto charges a delivery fee of nearly 25 rupees. Now, however, if one does not need a quick delivery, then JioMart continues to offer the highest discount. The discount on their platform for these 7 products stood at close to 32%. However, as I mentioned, there was no quick delivery available for JioMart products. Now, all the products that were offered on the JioMart platform were at a lower price compared to all the other platforms. Now, MRP of these products, as I mentioned, was around 1,604 rupees, while these products were offered on the JioMart platform at a price of nearly 1,094 rupees. Also, there is no delivery charge or handling fee charged by JioMart, which is oftenly seen for any other platform like Zepto, Swiggy, Instamart, or for that matter, there is DMart and Blinkit also, which charge either delivery fee or handling fee. So JioMart continues to offer the highest discount, but there's no quick delivery. But if one wants quick delivery, then having Zepto pass and using Zepto, you will get the highest discount of around 26%.
All right, thanks very much, Soumit. It looks like the war gets intensified now. But then moving on, First Source Solutions acquired UK-based firm named as Sensex for 470 crores. This acquisition will add retail vertical to company's existing domains. Sharad joins in with all the details about the company and the strength it will provide to the info with First Source.
Well, it's important acquisition announcement coming in for First Source Solutions as they have acquired as Sensex for almost 470 odd crore rupees. Now, details about this deal is coming in is that Sensex is a leading customer experience outsourcing partner when it comes to retail and e-commerce business in the markets of United Kingdom. Now, the deal itself is coming in at a cheaper value of almost 0.7 times its EV sales on a calendar year 2023 basis as per analysts, and also this acquisition will be adding a retail vertical to the First Source existing strength in the BFS, CMT, healthcare and the E&U segments. Also, it also fortifies the multilingual capabilities for CX services. Interestingly, if you look at the numbers for Sensex, the revenues are flattish, coming at roughly 63 to 65 million pounds over the last 2 years on a calendar year basis, and the EBIT margins, the working margins, coming in at a flattish 0.4% in calendar year 2023. Apart from this, this acquisition is expected to be margin dilutive initially, but going ahead, it would be accretive. The margin profile is expected to gradually improve with the anticipated revenue and the operational synergies kicking in.
All right, thanks Sharad for that very interesting update coming in from First Source. But let's also take a very quick break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the stocks that you should keep on your radar on the account of news flow as well as the ones that make it to brokerage radar. So don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying tuned in. Well, let's get you some more interesting updates then. And Madhya Pradesh's Chief Minister Dr. Mohan Yadav has made a groundbreaking announcement declaring 2025 as Udyog Varsh. In a bold move, he took the unconventional path of inviting investments from across India. The interactive session has now reached Kolkata, West Bengal's capital city and a major industrial hub with diverse sectors as well. Here is the story.
मध्य प्रदेश ने हाल ही में कोलकाता में अपना चौथा इंटरैक्टिव सेशन समाप्त किया, जो बहुत सफल रहा। मुख्यमंत्री डॉक्टर मोहन यादव ने कार्यक्रम के दौरान पूरे भारत में क्षेत्रीय निवेशकों को आकर्षित करने के लिए अपनी योजना व्यक्त की। राज्य में उद्योग को बढ़ावा देने के लिए कार्यक्रम के दौरान उन्होंने उद्योगपतियों, निवेशकों और व्यापारिक संगठन के प्रतिनिधियों के साथ विस्तृत चर्चा की।
देखिए, हमारा मध्य प्रदेश बहुत बड़ा भौगोलिक दृष्टि से देश का दूसरा राज्य है। हमारी लगभग 9 करोड़ की आबादी है। ऐसे में हम अपनी कमिश्नरी हेडक्वार्टर पे भी इंडस्ट्रियों को बढ़ाना चाहते हैं। इसी कारण से हमने रीजनल कॉन्क्लेव चालू की है और उसका लाभ ले रहे हैं। और हमारी हर रीजनल कॉन्क्लेव अपने स्थान पर सफल हो, उसके पहले जाकर के अलग अलग स्टेट में रोड शो कर रहे हैं, ताकि निवेशकों को यहाँ से ले जा कर के जहाँ हम निवेश की संभावना ढूंढ रहे हैं वहाँ के बारे में उनको बताते भी हैं और बुलवाते भी हैं। और ये क्रम लगातार जारी है। मुझे इस बात का संतोष है कि इसका रिस्पांस अच्छा है।
मध्य प्रदेश अपने संपन्न इंडस्ट्रियल इकोसिस्टम, शीर्ष स्तर के बुनियादी ढांचे और एक शिक्षित वर्कफोर्स के साथ निवेशकों के लिए एक आकर्षक डेस्टिनेशन है। इस कार्यक्रम में फूड प्रोसेसिंग, केमिकल्स, सीमेंट, स्टील, प्लास्टिक और रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी जैसे क्षेत्रों में 19,270 करोड़ रुपए के महत्वपूर्ण निवेश प्रस्ताव आए, जिससे राज्य में लगभग 10,000 नौकरियां पैदा होगी।
MP, it is center of India, so you can save on freight cost. So we are looking forward to have some of the ores available there and some cheaper power.
MP गवर्नमेंट का सबसे बड़ी चीज़ जो है वो कंटिन्यूटी एंड स्टेबिलिटी। गए आप मान लीजिए 20 साल में जो कंसिस्टेंट डेवलपमेंट हुआ, वो भले ही इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर हो, इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन हो। पहले एमपी में लोग जाते थे सिर्फ टूरिज्म या माइनिंग सेक्टर के लिए। आप देखिए अभी 360 डिग्री डेवलपमेंट हुआ है।
जिस भी सेक्टर में जो भी इंडस्ट्री लगाना, हेवी इंडस्ट्री हो, MSME सेक्टर हो, लघु कुटीर उद्योग हो, अरे आप आइए और आपका लोग पॉलिसी से आउट ऑफ वे भी जाना हो तो सरकार तैयार है आपकी सारी मदद करने के लिए।
कोलकाता में यह इंटरैक्टिव कार्यक्रम जबरदस्त हिट रहा, जिसमें 700 से अधिक प्रतिभागी शामिल हुए। देश भर में निवेशकों को लुभाने के मुख्यमंत्री डॉक्टर मोहन यादव का सक्रिय प्रयास रंग ला रहा है और ये कोलकाता सेशन उनके सहयोगात्मक दृष्टिकोण का एक बेहतरीन उदाहरण है। इसलिए इसमें कोई आश्चर्य की बात नहीं है कि मध्य प्रदेश फ्यूचर रेडी स्टेट के रूप में ख्याति अर्जित कर रहा है।
With this, it's a wrap on this edition of Market Cafe. Stay tuned for the market action. GIFT Nifty indicates an 18 points cut, minor losses. Let's see how the day pans out. Stay tuned to VT Now.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.